What every artist needs to know about copyright before it's too late. Most artists do not realize they are giving away their rights until it is too late. Copyright sounds scary and legal, but it is actually your best friend, and the basics are not hard to understand. Today, I will show you the basics that every artist needs to know to protect themselves. I am not a lawyer, and this is not legal advice, but it is helpful for artists to have a passing knowledge of copyright law. When a contract is on the table, though, do hire a lawyer. I got a crash course education in copyright when my company used Linux while accidentally not abiding by the license terms. I found this helpful knowledge later on. For example, when evaluating contracts. In the next few minutes, you will learn the basics of copyright that every artist wishes they knew sooner. The basic principles are straightforward. Imagine you make a drawing on a sheet of paper and say, I love the drawing so much that I want to buy it from you. You sell me the drawing. I want to show a photo of the drawing online. Bzzzt. I cannot do that without your permission. You own the copyright to that image. Even though you sold me the physical object, the sheet of paper with the drawing, and I now own that piece of paper, you still own the copyright. It is a separate thing you can own. I ask you, and you being the nice person that you are, you, of course, say yes. I may share it on social media, but then I want to print it on a t-shirt, sell it and become a millionaire. I ask you again, but this time you say, well, I want a cut of the money you make with it. You give me a license. A license is when you, as an artist, remain the copyright owner, but give someone else permission to publish it under your terms and conditions. A cool thing about licenses is that you do not need the other party's signature. You decide on the terms and conditions, and if they use your work, they are assumed to have accepted the terms and conditions of your contract. So you write a license for me. In it, you can state if it is exclusive or non-exclusive, meaning you can also give the license to other people. You may provide an exclusive license for a specific use if the pay is good. But generally, I would try to go for a non-exclusive. Non-exclusive means you get to sell the same license to someone else. If the customer doesn't want that, you can make them pay extra for an exclusive license. Where is the license applicable? Only in my country or worldwide? For how long? Is it a perpetual license? Or can I only make t-shirts with your art for 5 years and then I have to return for a new license? Is it an irrevocable license, or can you revoke it under certain conditions? Is it transferable? Can I sell the license to someone else so that they can make the t-shirts? What is the fee? How much do you expect to get paid? Moral rights? Am I allowed to modify your art? And do I need to credit you when I publish it? You grant me an exclusive, non-transferable, irrevocable 5-year license to make t-shirts in France for 5 years. For 15% of revenue, which is high, but you are making me pay that for the exclusive license. I may not modify your art. Your signature should be prominently on the t-shirt as you drew it on paper. No one else can now make these t-shirts, at least not in France, for the coming 5 years. Great. I go do that thing. All of France wears a t-shirt with your art on it. It becomes a hit. I become rich, you too, and everyone is happy. I want to also make coffee mugs with your art on them now. Darn, I need to go back to you for another license. You can see how licenses are a good thing for artists. You remain the owner and control what the customer does with your art, and you get to negotiate your price for each use. I have big plans for your art. I think I can build an entire empire around it. I would like to know if I can buy the copyright from you. Remember, copyright is a property you can own. That means you can sell it. You can transfer copyright. You will likely and should say no to that unless the pay is acceptable. So now I have to buy a license to print your art on mugs, and your price has gone up. A huge fashion conglomerate has seen the t-shirts and wants to get in on the action. They approach you about your art. Would you want to make art for them? Sure, you say. Here's our standard contract, they say. It's non-negotiable. The contract is a work for hire. Here's the thing. When it comes to copyright, work for hire means that the client is now the creator, the auteur of the thing you think you made. Legally, it is as if they made it, so there isn't even a transfer of ownership of copyright. They are the copyright holders by default. The giant conglomerate offers low pay. You say no and move on. Only accept work for hire contracts when the pay is excellent, because it is all you'll ever get out of it financially. There may be other benefits, though, like gaining experience because you get to work with a specific team, or bragging rights, being able to say it on your resume that you did this job, or indeed exposure, but one that really means something. For example, if your work is guaranteed to be shown to a huge audience, then it may be worth it too. But know what you are getting out of it, for sure. There may be other things in the contracts, like time schedules, warrants, and indemnifications. Basically, you promise you own what you are selling, that they cannot be sued for something you did, and in which country you'd go to court, and so on. Copyright is automatic protection for your creative work. From the moment you make it, you own the copyright to it. You do not have to file anything for your art to be protected. Copyright means you get to control through a license who can reproduce, sell, or use your work and under what terms. Your art is your property, and your income from it depends on whether you can keep control of it. Note also that the customer never really needs to own the copyright. They can do anything they want with your art, just as long as they secured permission from you. Permission you can make them pay for. You cannot do that if you lose copyright ownership over your work. Without understanding the basics of copyright, like I explained here, you risk signing away your rights for little or no money. Bad clients and shady companies take advantage of artists who do not know their rights. If someone else presents you with a contract, then always read the contract carefully. If something feels off, it probably is. If a client refuses to clarify terms, walk away, because that is a sign of bad faith. If you strongly feel a specific change needs to be made to the contract and that you cannot agree with the contract in its current form, then walk away from the deal. Only sign it if you understood the contract and agree with what it said. Hire a lawyer when it comes to contracts, even if only because copyright laws vary between different countries. Also, while you can read a contract and agree with it, you are probably not a lawyer, and maybe something should have been in the contract, an important clause that protects you, and you don't notice because you don't know about it. However, it is helpful to have this basic knowledge of copyright. With it, you can usually dismiss most contracts out of hand as not being for you. In short, the Too Long Didn't Read is try to remain the owner of the copyright over your work and only sell licenses. A last tip: look at the end of the contract while you are fresh and rested. Scammy people will put the evil clauses there, hoping you are too tired reading the document to notice. A last tip: if you find dishonest clauses in the contract, consider not working with that entity. They might not be a good entity to partner with. A last tip: consider having your own standard contract written up for you by a lawyer, something you can send to a potential new client. Make it the best deal you are willing to offer, terms-wise, so that you don't have to consider negotiating the terms, just the price, time frame, location, and such. Check out the Practice Drawing This website, where I host lots of drawing practice resources which you can't find anywhere else. Thank you for listening.